Hi, everyone. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi coming to you for our last live we have for this March 28th, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We're answering questions about U.S. immigration. The favorite things like to talk about U.S. immigration all the time, especially because a lot of people, because of the complexity of how U.S. immigration is. We're coming live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as on TikTok and Instagram. Last couple of weeks, it's been raining in Los Angeles. Hopefully today's sunny day in Los Angeles, California. Hopefully it gets better. TikTok got a little more difficult adding the questions from TikTok, so hopefully we get that in as well. And check out your questions always coming. We take a general education-based questions here. We can't answer individual like legal guidance. Any on the case, and then take it from there to help you out to get a better understanding what U.S. immigration is happening and learn from other people's cases, all that kind of stuff. This might not be free and write a good question or comments and say consultation just once. Don't do it over and over again, or else you'll lose out. And if that happens, then we'll schedule a private video consultation for 15 minutes. We give away 3 of these every 15 minutes. It already looks like my internet's kind of freezing, stuff like that. So hopefully we can get through this 30-minute show without all the issues that we usually have. Not usually, hopefully it won't be usual, what we've had in the last couple of weeks in our live show. But having said that, again, we take your questions, try to do a live show, and get some good stuff going for you. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, and if you haven't already, download the guide. We have a detailed marriage immigration guide for fiancé visa holder, marriage visa ultimate marriage guide. All you gotta do is go to and that's that. So I was let's jump in. I want to take that really first. Imran says, did not hear anything after submitting my I-864 in May 2022 for my green card application. Can I send my inquiry to expedite my process? You can do whatever you like. Whenever you respond to a request for evidence with USCIS, the Immigration Department within the United States, they can respond however long they want to take. So it's not abnormal for it to take a long time, unfortunately. You can call always to do expedites or request, what's going on. You can give it a shot. It may or may not work, but sure, why not take a shot? I mean, I can't tell you what to do because, again, I got to always say that I'm not the immigration lawyer on this case. I don't know all the details. Maybe it's a bad idea to send something without reviewing a case. I can't really tell you that. But, probably nothing's going to happen if you do it. So it is what it is. But usually TikTok saying, hi, what's the income limit for one person to sponsor wife? If you go to form I-864P, you'll find the current limit. I think it's around 24,600 or something, 25,000, 26,000, something like that. That's the amount for a single person petitioning for the affidavit support for their spouse. Jose on YouTube asked, my I-485 interview is coming up in 2 weeks, but my I-61 is pending. What happened in our interview? Thank you for your time. Most likely, they'll say, okay, the portion of the case that's in the interview is okay to wait for a decision on your I-601. And those are pretty backed up, but they probably just put your case on hold until a decision on the I-601. Best of luck on that. Sucks. Those that don't know, an I-601 waiver for some reason. It's there's some reason that you're inadmissible, not permitted to get status in the United States. Not just forgiveness for it by filing a waiver, a 601 waiver. And there's different ways of doing it. In this case, probably submitted a 601 485 application. It's going to take a while. Unfortunately, they're backed up, but hopefully it gets done in a positive way, approved sooner rather than later. Another question on TikTok. C. Shaq asks, what's my processing time? Went from 6 to 10 months. Why is the processing time go from 6 to 10 months? Because USCIS, they don't give us rhyme or reason. You just, unfortunately, just at their whim, essentially. Another question is, I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife's case document check qualified. It's still at the next 2020 in Islam. Yeah, Islam is one of the worst backed up processing times in the world when it comes to getting green card interviews, including for spouses of U.S. citizens. Having a 2-year backup or a year and a half, 2 years is norm right now. A lot of cases are pending. Unless there's a reason to expedite it, there's some emergency reason. Hello, really appreciate your help and time. My wife has come to U.S. on an immigrant visa. I have to move different address for green card delivery. So if you hadn't entered yet, when your wife does enter the United States, you want to tell the CBP officer at the port of entry that they have a different address now. You want to USCIS not for entry. Pray that your green card goes to the right address. And unfortunately, this for immigration, it comes to a big headache. A question, Andre asks, can I update my married name while the green card is pending? Quick on there, so they'll issue the new green card. But it's possible, but it's a little bit bureaucracy of what's going on. And then C-Shack asks, okay, we already answered. Please don't ask the same question over again. It makes it very hard to do this when people ask the same question over and over again. Now, what follows up? Would I be able to request a change of delivery address time? Yeah, that's what I would do. Carol asks, I sent an inquiry to National Visa Center about the assets about joint sponsor, and then return my message. Is there a way to work around? Can a non-sponsor? No, sponsor has to be a person. And when you're using, sorry for all people watching on TikTok, the system's being updated, but when you're using, National Visa Center is not going to respond to you in that sense, but you give it a shot. Using assets is really troublesome, and the embassy, it's much better to have a joint sponsor come and help you out with that. And it has to be a person, U.S. citizen or green card holder, and they would be the person, and that's just what you got to do. Using assets for immigrant visa processing, major headache, a lot of times doesn't work. Barno asks, hello, I applied for, we already answered that question. Let me see what's going on TikTok really quick. It shut down to restart everything. I'm not sure what the hell's going on with that one. But sorry, people who are watching on TikTok, I have to restart the feed over there. Just give me 1 second to turn on the live feed on TikTok. Okay, so Barno asks, I applied 2012 for I-130 visa under sibling category. Right now, our case in the National Visa Center says 2020. How can I expedite your case? You can't expedite your case. You can't. You got to wait for the visa bulletin to be current for your case. It probably for a sibling case, still a couple more years left. You got to wait for your place in line to come, the visa bulletin to be current. Visa bulletin has not been moving in the F4 preference category, which you're looking for, in over a year or two. So it's very unfortunate, but it's going to be more waiting, and that's that. Which was, how can I sponsor my wife who have less income than needed? Well, you get a joint sponsor. So you got to find a person that'll take on that financial responsibility and take it from there. Oh, we got tons of questions on TikTok we need to catch up on. Reminder, if you ask the same question over again, we're just not going to answer your question because you're taking up space and we'll have to remove you from the group. It makes it really hard to keep track what's going on when you ask the same question over and over again. It's better to ask. If you're watching on TikTok, we're on Instagram, it's jqklaw firm, but on YouTube, better to ask there. TikTok changes form, hard for me to take the questions there. Multi-social media system that I have right here, unfortunately, so keep an eye out on that. Tony asked, me and my daughter have our biometric appointments in the morning based on marriage. What's the next? If you wait for an interview or a fee, this and that. Biometrics is just something you got to do in the meantime, hold you over. Dr. Patel says, my husband is diagnosed with blood cancer. I'm really sorry to hear that. He needs financial support. He needs emotional support. How can I expenditures my request? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry to hear what happened, but I'm not really sure. It's not immigration related. I can't help with that. Zainab said, 16 years for my brother's visa case in Afghanistan. We'll expedite. We can't expedite that. Just got to wait for your turn. If it's ready, you got to try to get an interview. Hi, to ask, hi, if you're a 2-year green card from 2020, 2-year extension, I got a 4-year extension, when can we file for citizenship? Well, if you've been married and living with the U.S. citizens for 3 years, it's 3 years. If you've satisfied all the other requirements. We answered that. How can a sponsor, blah, blah, blah. A lot of repeat questions. Meech asks, can a U.S. citizen apply and potentially get a job in the U.S. while still living in the U.K. to get sponsored? Yeah, anyone could apply for a job in the U.K. You could do it, but whether you're going to get the visa or not, I don't know if that's going to happen. But if you're in UK and you interview with some companies in the US, they want to hire you and they're willing to do the paperwork for sponsorship, like it happens. It's very difficult, unlikely thing it's going to happen, not impossible. So that's that. Sarah on Instagram asks, what's the update about immigration K1 visa? The main update is that the I-129F petition is backed up and it's taking more and more time to get approved. So when you have a fiance visa, first you have to submit an I-129F, and that's process, we used to take 6 months. Now it's like 13 months, 14 months. So the fiance visa, which a lot of people think is a faster way to go, is not really the faster way to go. It's the more expensive way to go, but not necessarily faster. So unfortunately, it's just bad news, more delays on the fiance visa process. Omar asks, is it a good sign if USCIS cancel the notice for additional evidence for I-130? is better. You don't want to have an RFE, but sometimes they cancel it. I don't know what's going on in the case. I can't say for sure because I haven't seen what's going on. But yeah, that's probably better, but I can't say for sure. Another question, Oshimas asks, if you have a 2-year green card from 2020, I already answered that question. Yeah, you gotta see what's going on with how long you had your green card. And then another question is popping up. For consular processing, do they schedule interviews based on the priority date or DQ date? Both. When you're going to wait for a consular processing interview, you have to have been documentary qualified, which means the National Visa Center first has reviewed and approved your documents. And then secondly, your case should be current because they don't want to make a decision on a case that's not current. It's a waste of time because they'll may have to do another interview, another medical. So you probably need to have both of them ready to go. And then your place in line really depends on luck and where you are. Canadian said, I can't get my birth certificate for my RC1. Don't use these acronyms, RC1, NOA1. Don't use no immigration lawyers don't use that. Just say your green card or your something like that. What can I do to get my visa approved? You got to get your birth certificate or find alternative documents that you need this kind of stuff. Thamples asks, can a DACA recipient get a green card via employer sponsorship? Maybe. The big issue is this: is a DACA person. Is did you enter the U.S. lawfully, and have you had unlawful presence in the United States? You probably have. So you might have to do consular processing. If you leave the U.S., you may get banned from coming back in. So it's not about whether employment sponsorship is possible. Is getting a green card possible, and depends on your background, which can be problematic if you have DACA because of potentially unlawful entry and not maintaining lawful status. So these are things you got to think about, which make it very hard usually, unless it's a very nuanced situation. For example, you came to the U.S. before you're 18. You got DACA, deferred action for child arrivals, before you were 18 and a half. So you never accumulated unlawful presence days. And you do an employment-based case for consular processing, then you may have a chance. It's very unique. You've got to see how that is. Lucy asks, how can I prove mental or emotional abuse for VAWA? Well, you got to document your emotions. You have a personal statement that goes into it. Potentially you went to a a psychologist, and they took notes and said how this person feels. You may have called the police. You got a police report showing the abuse. There's different ways on how to do that. Carol follows up. My husband and I have expedited our visa petition based on me needing lung cancer surgery. I'm sorry to hear that. It was expedited every step, but now stalled at the interview. Why isn't the interview accepting the expedite? The embassies are ridiculous like that. Just got to keep pushing them. May file a lawsuit, but this is the hassles we deal with, even under extreme situations where a rational person would say, oh, this person's got cancer, let's help them out. Not so much. But that's the situation right there. I'm sorry to have to tell you that. Diana asks, we did our I-751 rule condition, but the offer refused to give me N-400. That was the same day, so why? You got to fight with them about it. Say, I need to do both at the same time. They usually will do it if you have appropriate N-400 and I-751 case. If they hadn't scheduled the F-400, well, you got to wait for that to be scheduled. A lot of times they schedule the F-400 interview first, and then you do the I-751 at the same time. A1 asks, is there a possibility to visit the U.S. if you get denied by visa misrepresenting documents? Yeah, you have to get a waiver, which is going to be hard for you. So unless you have a really important need and you have the patience to file a waiver and see what happens with that, you're not going to be able to come to the United States anymore. But it's not impossible. You got to ask for a waiver. Malik has this a 9th month later from a asylum interview, but I didn't get any updates. I'm an Afghan. Sorry to hear that, but these things take a while. Sometimes they take forever to make a decision. Let's see. We got more questions. We answered that one. I got married to U.S. citizen. So Canadian American asks, I'm married to U.S. citizen, I have a Canadian passport. That's fine, but you need a birth certificate depending on what country you're from. Sometimes they'll forgive not having a birth certificate, but it depends on your country. If you don't have a birth certificate, it seems kind of weird for the U.S. You got to see what's going on. Bethany asks, can I go to Canada as a Canadian while green card is pending, but I have my work authorization? If you have a green card pending and you do not have advanced parole, an H-1B visa, or an L visa, by leaving, you will not be able to come back in. There's a V visa too, but we're not going to get into that. You probably are not applying for a V visa. So you need to have advanced parole, H-1B, or L1 to be able to come. If not, by leaving, it's going to cancel out your case. Now, I do talk about how this free video consultation we do. My wonderful assistant, Katrina, has named you, Bethany, from TikTok as our winner of our free consultation giveaway. We have 2 more to give away, but if Bethany, take a screenshot of where you're watching this so I can see your username, and that is you, and email it to me at info@jqklaw.com so I see it's you, and we'll schedule a private chat to discuss your case and your questions that you have. And those who are just tuning into the live show, we give away free video consultations All you gotta do is like and subscribe, ask a good question, and use the word consultation there somewhere, throw it in there, and we'll know that you're interested. We'll name someone off in 10 and 20 minutes before the end of the show, and hopefully get a chance to talk in private, which we can't do here. Diana follows up. I had the same day we did I-751, but officer did the interview for both of us, but no decision. They're not going to approve an N400 if the I-751's not approved. Usually they might do the N400 interview anyway to get out of the way, but I don't know that. I don't know what happened. I usually don't have that scenario. Your last name is Uwabambe. That sounds from West Africa. Sometimes West African cases, I'll go on hold for this kind of stuff. I don't want to go too much into detail about that. I don't want to, what is it called? Malign a whole country. But I deal with West Africans in the particular country I assume you're from based on your last name. And these cases get stalled. I just had a consultation an hour ago about that. So it's best to talk with the attorney and probably see what's going on. But these things do happen. Hopefully there's no disbelief of your relationship. Oshiyama asks, do you have to live together for the 3-year rule for citizenship, also the 5-year rule? Not for the 5-year rule, but for the 3-year rule for citizenship. To be able to file sooner, you have to have been living with the U.S. citizen spouse, and they have to be a U.S. citizen the whole time. You can do it faster, so that is a requirement. Mr. Madison says, what is the process at customs when you arrive for the U.S. for the first time, immigrant visa by the spouse? It's pretty simple. You take your sealed envelope package that they give you, or if it's a digital package, it's already going to be waiting for you. You should have paid the $220 immigrant visa fee before coming to the United States. Once you enter, the CBP will take you to a secondary inspection to review your documents. You may be there for an extra hour or two while they process everything. And usually they'll let you in. They'll stamp your visa that's there. By stamping the immigrant visa, it's going to be considered a green card. That visa is going to be considered a green card for 1 whole year until your green card arrives. The green card, Social Security card and number usually come 2 to 3 weeks after entry, but it's not unheard of for it to take 6, 7, 8 months. It's not unheard of for the post office to lose them on the mail, and then you have to file for a new one. It's a big headache. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that. Ali asked, if my future wife came as an H-2B visa expired, can she change status in the U.S.? Can we apply? Well, she cannot change status, but she may be able to adjust status because she had lawful entry, and if you're a U.S. citizen. So it depends on the case and the facts, but potentially may be possible. We got to see what's going on in more detail, but Aaliyah may have a chance there. Gabby asks on Instagram, does VAWA have a time limit? Can adult apply if they are suffered as a child? So there's a VAWA when the spouse dies. There's a 2-year requirement to file it. For abuse, you have to not remarry. Whether there's a time limit, I can't remember. I don't handle VAWA cases myself in my firm too often. I know that if you get remarried, that's a problem. We've had cases where people want to get remarried. We got to tell them not to get remarried. But the time limit, I can't recall if there is a time limit. Sorry. Cardis asks, if a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. citizen without physical presence, can I transfer U.S. citizenship to my kids that are born outside the U.S.? So if you have not resided in the United States, for 5 years, 2 of which over the age of 14, you cannot transfer citizenship to your child. Now, there's another way of doing it. If you're going to be remaining outside the United States, your kids are remaining outside, is if your parents, one of the grandparents, it has been living in the United States for 5 years, 2 of which are after the age of 14, they can submit a form N600K card. It's definitely something to look into. Try to get your kids citizenship. If all that doesn't work, you got to apply for a green card for them and move with them to the United States for at least a brief period of time to live here to get your kids citizenship. Now, my wonderful assistant, Katrina, has named her second raffle winner, Cardis. If you want to take a screenshot of where you're watching this, I know it's you, and email to me at info@jqklaw.com. Again, that's info@jqklaw.com. And we have a private conversation about what the N600K is about, all that kind of stuff. Just email me. And for those just tuning in, we give away free video consultations. All you got to do is like and subscribe, write consultation, and we know that you're interested. And we give away a 15-minute free chat that's private. We get to talk in more detail there. All you got to do is like, subscribe. If you haven't already, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide if you're interested in getting a marriage visa, fiance visa, a full 40+ page guide breaking down the whole process at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Next question, Yulia asks, what is strong evidence, or actually Helen asks, can we change the address of the petitioner when using the I-244 form? We need to file the I-244 form because it appears out there you have to not indicate that sure. Yeah, you can always change the address. It's not a big deal. Use form AR-11 online. Yulia asks, what is strong evidence or a strong case for removing conditions on a green card based on marriage after divorce? Everything is the same evidence that if you were married. It's all the joint kind of documents you have. I like to add a personal statement that goes into detail as to what happened in the relationship. So that's going to be but this is a case-by-case analysis of what you have. So it's really what you have. And I could say, yeah, if you had 3 kids together and you own 4 houses together, that's really strong. But probably most people don't have 3 kids and 4 houses. So it depends on whatever facts you have. Sally asks, in case of a pending joint I-750, what happens if you get divorced? Do you need to withdraw the application and file a new one, or just change it to an individual application? Notify USCIS that divorce has happened. Preferably, it goes into this no man's land, but essentially you get to keep this current I-751 pending. You got to get as soon as possible to filing the getting divorce done, because they cannot approve a pending divorce case. But essentially, notify USCIS that a divorce has happened. Yes. Hey, buddy. Wait, I'm doing a TV show right now. Okay, you come to TV show. You gotta be quiet though. Sorry, buddy. Kids, jumping the show. Mommy's helping the repairman right now. Okay. Okay. All right. As we have a live show at home, jump in, but I seen him the angle where you guys could. So with the I-751, unfortunately, you gotta. I don't want to give too much information because it gets really complex. One of the worst areas of immigration law if you're going through it, because if your divorce not finalized, they may not approve it. But essentially, you notify USCIS, and hopefully they approve it, knowing that you got a divorce, and you may have to do an interview. That's the short of it. But you really should talk with the attorney in private. There's a lot going on there. Eldrick asks, is having a baby through marriage good evidence? People on the street, we're asking if you. I want to say have a kid for green card purposes, but if you have a kid, yeah, it's good evidence. Why not? Jamal asks, what is your opinion on EB3 unskilled visa? I don't have an opinion on it other than it's a type of green card. I'm not sure there's an opinion to be had on that. Usman asks, work permit has not arrived yet. Would joining a job without be an issue? Yeah. In the U.S., if you're working at a job without a work permit, it's a job that a U.S. citizen could have been hired for, it is considered a status violation. Now, if you're getting your work permit based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, for example, unauthorized employment is forgiven. So that's not necessarily a big deal, as long as you don't use fake documents to get the job or something like that. But the rules are, you have to work permit. You can't take away a U.S. person's job. Okay, let's see. We got a lot of questions on. These questions, my internet's getting a little bad on these things. Sorry for people who are watching if the internet's not working. What is the best way to expedite I-130 medical or humanitarian conditions? You need to call USCIS and tell them you want an expedite request and have evidence of the humanitarian need. So if they ask for it, you get fax it to them. So you got to call them, explain the humanitarian need for the expedite, and hopefully they'll be willing to do it or ask for evidence of it. You send it, and hopefully they'll approve it. But that's just the first step. Then you got to expedite with the National Visa Center and the embassy for an interview. We had a person here that had everything expedited. They're still not scheduling the interview. It's not a foregone conclusion that it's going to work. Let's see. We got a lot more questions popping up. Super interesting Q&A. Thanks. You're welcome, Alec Brown. Appreciate it. Thank you all for joining on TikTok and everywhere else, taking your questions about all this stuff. Can we apply using Visa Waiver Program? I think you're reading about the green card. The U.S. Visa Waiver Program allows for getting a green card only if you're an immediate relative, which means you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen, parent of a U.S. citizen, or minor child of a U.S. citizen. Other people cannot adjust status or change status in the United States with the Visa Waiver Program. So again, with regard to need care of wife, give it a shot. You can always request expedite for any reason. They may or may not approve it, but if you have a humanitarian need, you can give it a shot and see what happens. Give it a couple of tries, get a congressperson involved. There's all these things you can do. Osku asks on Instagram, when National Visa Center gets filed for the I-130, what do you usually see a turnaround time for a visa interview? There's no fixed time. So if you're maybe in like Bulgaria, first of all, when the National Visa Center gets your file, it takes 1 month to 2 or 3 months for them to approve your documents. I have people come to me, it took them a year to get this done because they keep uploading the wrong document. So, okay, that's a timeline. It's up to you. And it depends on how good the National Visa Center is at what they're doing. And then after that, whether you get an interview depends on the interviewing location. So again, like Bulgaria, maybe 2 or 3 months, or Netherlands, maybe 4 or 5 months, Pakistan, maybe 2 or 2.5 years. It's really different for every case. So there's no answer for that one. Yuli's talking about what kind of evidence is good relationship. Yulia, this goes into too much case-specific evidence. I can't analyze your case in a public forum like this. It's best to talk with an immigration attorney in private to review your case. Michelle, where do we begin? What do we do? Can't afford attorney fees. My boyfriend really want to be together. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It'll give you an idea what's going on there. There's a lot of low-cost immigration attorneys out there. There's a lot of organizations that can help you. You just got to spend time to research. You could do this for free and have people help you with it. It's definitely possible. You just got to spend time researching it. So get the guide, get nonprofit organizations, double check their work, and it's doable. It's not impossible, and people do it. It's just the money you spend on getting a lawyer. Instead, you spend your time researching and doing all that kind of stuff. But it's different ways to do it. How can we enter the country during petition filing? You apply for a visa, and if it's approved, then you do it. That's about it. Gabby Design says, thank you for this. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Gabby. That's very nice of you. God bless you. Is having a baby through marriage a good evidence? Yeah, why not? And so that's the thing. There's a lot of resources online. There's a lot of organizations that want to help you, so you could do it. Giles says, can I transfer my petition to other FAFSA service centers? No, you can't transfer your petition from one USCIS service center to another. That's how they do it. Christian says, hi, I accidentally clicked withdraw. What should I do now? Nothing. You can ask your lawyer to submit a new G28, and we talk to your lawyer about this. G28 is the form that permits to get your just ask the lawyer to resubmit and stuff like that. It's more annoying, but it is what it is. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this live show. We got time for a couple more questions if you have them. The internet's a little bit spotty, but better than it has been in the past. But we're live here on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I have a slight allergy, not a slight, a pretty massive allergy. I have to take medication for it. But nose running, eyes burning, throat's burning. It's a mess. But, if I can, I'm going to stand up. If I can stand up, I'm going to be in front of the show every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Questions. Love doing it. Love reaching out to the audience. And we meet so many people that are great in this program throughout the years. We've been doing it since 2020, 3 years now, running this operation. It's been a wonderful thing. With regard to immigration system, some stuff is sped up. Adjustment of status interviews have sped up. But I-130, I-129, all these other petitions have slowed down. And some embassies are going faster and some are going slower. So it's some things are faster, some things are slower. Generally, it's a mess. There's mistakes abound, and that's just the nature of the themselves are probably just badly managed, very politicized agencies because of all the politics. So they're frustrated too. It's frustration all around. But the best part that we have, is to be able to help you to gain this knowledge I have and help you through all these different videos and stuff. Barno says, take Claritin allergy. Claritin stopped working for me years ago. Amazon brand is pretty good. I use that now. Just basic. I'm not sure what kind of anti-allergy medication it is, but the Amazon's good. Michelle, sorry, you said a website again where we start. Yeah, go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's up there. Just get your email and it sends it to you by email. marriageimmigrationlaw.com and study that. It's a little bit outdated, but for the most part, it's correct. And then they'll tell you what forms and stuff. And just do research online. I have thousands and thousands of clips and videos that go over through everything. So it's there, and it can help you. But that's already visa, all that kind of stuff. So I guess with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining. You're welcome, Michelle. I wish you the best in the process. Keep us posted on how things are going with your case. We'll call it a day today. I'll be back again next week at 5 p.m. Pacific time to take your questions live. I appreciate everyone who's here. God bless, be safe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.